Well, first in this video I want to say I love my Camaro. I love the fact that I have a 42-year-old car that I get to work on, to keep on the road, customize, and make my own. However, speaking of the road, it also lends itself to problems when you have a 42-year-old car. And I spent a couple hours stranded out on the side of the freeway today. So I was driving along and out of nowhere it just kind of puttered out. And then I sat on the side of the road for a minute, got it started again, went about 100 yards and it died again. Well, it was really kind of looking like it was the battery and, you know, possibly the alternator was out. So I went ahead and after a little bit my lovely wife came and picked me up and we went over to the auto store and got a nice big new battery. Something with a lot of power into it that would get me home with a bad alternator. I was about 15 miles away from home. Well, I put it in the car and it started right up. Drove about 100 yards again. Boom, dies again. Well, after a while, fiddling with stuff and it just will not start, Finally, you know, I was just going through everything and eventually I found the problem. It wasn't the battery at all. It's not the alternator. It's right here at the fuel pump. Let me see if I can get this light to stay. Right here at the fuel pump. Here's the fuel pump. And this is actually a brand new line that I put in. However, if you look right here, it's absolutely kinked. So what was happening was the car was starving for fuel. And so after a while of cooling down, it would, you know, sometimes open up a bit and then I'd be able to drive. But as the RPM started going up and the fuel demand started getting more, it would just collapse right here and eventually starve it for fuel. So I'm glad I noticed that. I have a nice new battery because of it. So now I've got to fix this. Well, it's got this nice big curve here that I have to contend with. So probably what I'm going to do is end up getting a little longer hose so I can have a nice big loop going there, or maybe even shorter, I don't know. Something to fix that. But once I noticed that that was the problem and I pinched it really good to open it up, I was able to drive home. No tow required, at least this time. Ah, the fun of a 42-year-old car.